Donuts.
Welcome to the
Dolls and Donuts
podcast, episode 33. In today's episode, we're going to tell you about what's happening in the animal rights community, what's been happening in Robin's Vegan Dollhouse, and we're excited to introduce our special guest, Kristen. Thanks for coming, Kristen.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for making the drive all the way here from Santa Cruz.
It really wasn't that far, and I got free dinner, so
Ooh.
I don't drive pretty far for free food.
Yeah. If anyone out there ever wants to be a guest on our podcast, I make you dinner. It's
Robin
kind of a
will
perk.
make you dinner. That is right. That's a promise from me. Robin will make you dinner.
And then you get to eat some, too.
I will have a nibble just for sustenance to get through.
She's like, as long as I don't have to do the cooking.
I had my snack at 4:30. That's a long time. I get here at like 6-ish. That's a long time to go.
What
I
is
didn't
your
eat lunch
4:30
because I knew I was coming.
What is your 4:30 snack like?
Raspberries.
Oh, okay. I never would eat fruit in the middle of the day.
I eat it in the morning and in the afternoon.
All day.
All day?
Yeah, it's all day thing.
Really?
It's an all day thing.
I always have fruit with my oatmeal, and then I have my raspberries at 4:30. Because I have to time it perfectly, because then I have enough to get me through, like, the rest of the workday, and then, like, commute without being like, I'm freaking starving. And then, like, by the time dinner's ready, I'm like, oh, now I'm ready.
And do you
It's a
set an alarm?
science. No.
Okay. So not always at 4:30, just thereabouts?
Oh, I'm you know, like, 4:15, I'm like,
It's almost raspberry time.
4:17. And then I'm like, oh my god, so much time has passed. 4:19. Shit.
You're like drawing with them and making hearts.
Oh, they're in the
name.
fridge in the kitchen. So I have to get up and then wash them in the kitchen and then come back. So it's not like they're like staring at me.
Who washes
I
fruit?
was going to say, at least you wash them.
I mean, I'm not like
it's organic.
not like one by one or anything, but I give them a rinse so I feel good about things, you know.
Just assume if there's anything on it, then it's going to help my immune system.
When I eat them,
Or if
I
it's
do
still
have a
growing.
look.
That's how I feel
And
too.
sometimes I have to throw one away occasionally because sometimes they're
No, I
in
just
there.
a handful, and sometimes I'll be like, that tasted
Fuzzy.
That's okay. It's fine.
If it's
Like,
fuzzy,
it's usually fine.
my line is drawn at fuzzy.
Yeah. But
it's-
if you don't
if it's-
see it,
If it's cuddly,
you don't know.
well, yeah, I eat them. I want to make it last, so I eat them like 2 at a time. I sound like a crazy person.
Like omelet
Wait, you
style
can
on your
if they're
fingers.
if they're
Oh, yeah.
raspberries, you can just put them on your fingertips, right?
No, you could, yeah, but I don't.
Macchiato has been eating the golden raspberries straight from the bush in the backyard.
You have a golden raspberry bush?
Yeah, my dad planted them for me when
Oh
I
my
moved
gosh,
in.
This is a
I didn't know that. I
place.
didn't know about this either.
It doesn't matter. You'll never get one because Macchiato will always be faster than us.
Dogs are so cute. They pluck it right off. Oh, so cute.
That would be me if I knew there was a bush out there. I would have been like, get out of the way, elbowing her out of the way. Give me some raspberries. I love raspberries. How did we start to, oh, you may get raspberries possibly if you come over and you're a guest.
Yeah, that
You
won't
can,
happen.
yeah, if you can grab one out of Maki's mouth. Maybe one will get caught in the cone. You know,
Oh,
it'll
yeah.
collect in there, and then you can grab them and eat them.
I got her a little like water dispenser that goes on the crate.
Yeah, for
And-
like rabbits.
Yeah. And she's like licking it, and sometimes some water will fall in the cone. It's just sitting there collecting.
A dog
in
of
the
her
cone.
size, like trying to lick from that little thing, it probably takes like 4 hours to be like, oh, I'm refreshed.
But it's good because it's so hard to drink when you have the cone on.
Oh,
I know, I feel like it takes, she's like, I'm so thirsty.
It has wet my palate, and that's all.
Drip, drip. I feel like, poor
I
thing.
wonder if they do that on purpose so that they don't have to pee
Hmm?
when they're in the crate. I mean, I don't know. She gets real drinks of water. Don't look at me like I'm torturing her.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like, it probably is annoying for her to try to drink out of that with the cone on.
I think it's fun. I was like putting
think
it
it's
in
fun.
an old agave bottle, and
Fun at
I was
her
like
expense
holding it
for
upside
baby.
down, and she was like sucking and chewing, and then I was like, okay, I have things to do.
Okay, well,
can't just
the
stand here for
novelty
an
didn't
hour.
last long, obviously.
I know, worst dog parent ever. So Kristen, have you ever listened to our show before?
I have not. Just snippets on Instagram.
Oh, okay. We don't do that anymore. We should do that
No,
more.
I got lazy.
Oh, okay. Do you miss
shit
them?
going on.
Or do you
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I
You
think
hear
about
that?
it every night. Oh, there's no snippet.
When the first rolls around, you know it's the first this is when we post the first every month. You're like, my day was empty somehow.
Yeah.
Aw.
There's a void.
Yeah.
All right.
now I
There's
know
gonna
it is.
continue to be a void, probably, just so you know.
That's so sad.
Because I don't know if I'm gonna do that, but it's
All right.
nice.
Well, to give you a little preview, we have segments, and our first segment is called Ask Ashley.
That's me.
So, Ashley, tell us what's going on with the animals.
So the first is going to be, the headline is Tesco sells 2.5 million vegan meals in 20 weeks.
I love Tesco.
which is pretty crazy. You do?
Mm-hmm.
When do you shop at a Tesco?
Well, obviously only when I'm in London.
Okay. I thought you were getting confused.
No.
I thought we were gonna have a clueless corner. You're like,
I just
wait,
like
I thought
it.
that was
well,
some other place.
they have that whole line of like free from stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love
it's
it.
really convenient.
cool.
It's
when I'm
super
there.
cheap and it's all delicious.
Yeah, so
It sounds like they've made veganism so normal. Because
Yeah.
Tesco is such a conventional grocery store
Yeah.
over in the UK. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Safeway would never do that.
I think
Fucking
Tesco is
Safeway.
part of the Walmart group, right?
I don't know.
So that's even more of a
That's crazy.
craziness if it I believe it is, but don't quote me on that. So this isn't a Tesco brand like their free from line, but it's the vegan food line Wicked Kitchen, and I guess they have a cookbook that they came out with too. But they made how many? It was a 20 item food line, like frozen items. And they came out in January, and then in 20 weeks, they sold 2.5 million of them.
And they're like
Which is
frozen dinners, like
crazy.
TV dinners? What are we
Yeah,
talking
basically.
about? Okay.
Yeah. A lot of them are like that. There may be some like outlier other products, but they're basically just like meals, frozen meals. So I just thought that was really crazy. And they were at 600 locations. So it was like fully, like, it wasn't like a test. I mean, God, if they sold 2.5 million in a test market, that would be unheard of. But I thought that was really good. And I'm going to try to find one of these when I'm there in September.
Wicked.
And review.
Yeah. I'll see if this is going to be a Wag or a Whimper.
Where are you going to make it?
My mother-in-law's house.
Oh, okay.
What does that
They had
say?
Tesco's in Ireland.
Oh, okay, cool.
About how lazy people are, though. That's a lot of frozen meals.
Yeah.
Lazy, busy.
And, well, I just know there's a Tesco, like, right down the street from my in-laws' house. And, like, in, like, Northern Ireland. Like, London's one thing. It's London. But, like, Northern Ireland, there's only a few places that do vegan, like, restaurants. I mean, of course, you can cook at home. But, the convenience of those there is something that I always think of, like, Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Because that's where I spend a lot of time. So,
Well,
I just found it a
the
good thing.
generation that goes vegan more readily is our younger people, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
And
for
they don't
sure.
know. I mean, when I was young, I didn't know how to cook.
Oh, my first year was so sad. Like, I didn't eat veggie burgers for 8 years after my first 2 years of being vegan. Once I learned how to cook and I learned how to make my own food.
Because you were tired of them.
It was like Boca burgers. The instructions is just open one side of the plastic and put it in the microwave. No.
Oh,
No.
wow.
I
That's
don't
really
think
gross.
I'll ever eat a Boca burger again. Sorry if you have a Boca sponsorship.
I wish. I'd be like, they're paying us. Please leave. Because we had a check to clear. No.
I'd be surprised
yeah.
that they're still in business with all the good.
There's so many other
Yeah.
better
Oh my
options.
gosh,
if you're going to
yeah.
go that
But they're
route,
still
there's
cheap.
better stuff.
Like Boca burgers are still really cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was sad. So sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice to have like
Especially
now
for,
you
like-
can go get all the Amy's stuff
Yeah.
and the Daya pizzas and
Yeah.
so many convenient meals. Because when I was trying to cook when I first went vegan, I didn't know how to cook any type of food, and then
Right.
I was like, now I'm vegan, I can't eat anything, which is what I thought.
Right.
And it was very sad. It was very sad.
I mean, they're good to have around. So, like, I, like, make breakfast and I make dinner. But, like, my lunch at work, I just want something, like, I can put in the microwave and eat.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, this would be perfect for me if they had them here. So, for that one meal. So, I thought that was really good. 20 weeks, that was a really strong reception. So, hope it keeps going. And they even expand their free-from line and all of that. So, that's a good sign. Oh god, this is a gem in it coming up. Okay, so the next story, the headline is 52 New York dairy farms lose wholesale contracts. So, a Connecticut-based milk producer called Marcus Dairy announced that they are going to be ending contracts with 52 dairy farms that are based in New York. And I guess that's their only or their biggest contract because many of them will be closing because of the end of this contract was basically their lifeblood. So the contract already expired by the time this airs. So, and this is just amazing. CBS spoke to one of the dairy farmers. This is gold. Okay, so CBS talked to one of the dairy farmers, and in New York about the skepticism of the consumer shift towards plant-based alternatives from cow's milk, and this was her response, quote, I don't know how you milk an almond, but whatever. End quote.
Doesn't sound too upset.
I don't even know what to say about that. That was her response to people going to plant-based alternatives for milk. I don't know how you milk an almond, but whatever.
She probably said almond.
Almond.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
She probably said almond.
I agree. Then I agree with her because I don't know how you get around that. So
What happens to all the cows when these places?
I assume they'll be sent to slaughter.
Yeah,
Oh,
They'll be sold to slaughter.
very likely.
Yeah.
And how much kickback is this gonna, like, will you guys get kickback from people who are like, but the small farms and the family farms and
Like from this podcast?
Mhm.
No.
Good.
No.
Well, how many? None of those are small, right?
No, but she's
Small
saying
farms.
like related to it. Like,
Yeah.
well, what if these are
family
good?
farms,
Or,
quote unquote, are no
yeah.
longer the like green pasture family farms.
Right.
They are owned by families, but now they're these huge, disgusting, factories.
Yeah. Like, what is
But-
all that shit on I-5 when you're driving to LA? Are those
Oh,
family-owned farms?
I mean, they're probably owned by a family.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot
Because
of
they're
them-
small.
but they
Ish.
contract out to the bigger companies. So you can drive down I-5 and you'll see little signs that say like Wallaby yogurt because they contract those dairy farms. And they're usually, I think a lot of them probably started as smaller family farms. And then in order to keep up with the pace of, consumerism, they've had to, and a lot of farmers who stopped farming and went vegan will tell you this. They'll say, we started as a small family farm and the only way to keep up was to turn into these huge, disgusting factory farms that were just like pumping out as much, milk or chicken meat or whatever they're farming as possible. And then, just because they're drowning. So like, I don't feel sorry for anybody, but that's usually in my like anecdotal experience, what I've heard as far as where the genesis of a lot of these farms was, and then they just turn into these like animal torturing, earth polluting,
yeah.
places that we don't need.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and it goes on to say that they're, as the bigger companies, the big dairy companies or food companies that have a stake in the dairy industry are starting to cut contracts with dairy. I mean, they're still producing dairy, but they're starting to cut the money away from dairy and put it going into plant-based products as well. And then also they're saying about some of the more smaller dairy producers are just transitioning over completely to the new plant-based model.
Really?
Yeah, they said including New York brand Elmhurst, which shuttered its dairy processing plant in 2016 after 80 years and reopened last year as a vegan milk brand, Elmhurst Milked. So that's happening. I mean, it's in the minority, but it's happening.
Wow.
So that's really
But they can also continue their business and like keep employees. Like that's
they're just changing their product.
Yeah,
you know?
hopefully their model is something that can be reproduced.
Yeah. So, and especially I thought they obviously put in there that they had been around for 80 years. So, that's a long-standing tradition, quote, that's a dangerous word. It's a dangerous word. But, if it's not like these, like someone was like, oh, we're around 5 years. No, this isn't really sustainable. Let's move around. Like, let's move to a different model. This is like, long-lasting company that's been around for a long time and been doing the same thing for a long time. So that's good. They're not stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, you get stuck in your ways, you're going to go under. So, make the smart choice. So that's good news. And maybe this woman will learn how to milk an almond someday. But whatever.
I don't know how you milk an almond.
I don't care.
But whatever.
Or anything. Because he doesn't have any nipples. So
what's the point?
I don't know.
You make
When the
them have
almond comes to
baby
little
almonds.
points.
Yeah.
You have to impregnate them so they have baby almonds.
Yeah.
My almonds are not doing that. I don't know why. I keep checking the jar.
You like
No
walk into the jar, you're like,
babies.
oh, I'm sorry. I like interrupted something. You're like, turn to make almonds here.
That's how we
You
handle the
knock on the-
almond shortage in California.
Knock on the top of the jar before you open it.
It's like you have to use a special knock.
Yeah, or they like put a little tie on the outside of it.
A little bow. Oh, wow. Only Ashley can make almonds perverted, you guys, so there you have it.
If it saves animals, I'll make anything perverted.
Here you go.
There you go. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? So that's all for the news. And so what's been going at the Dollhouse, Robin?
Ooh, so much fun, delicious things going on at the Dollhouse. Okay, so do you remember the funfetti cake that I made that was a bunny?
Yeah,
You were
I
here.
helped you.
Yeah.
I was like, hi, it's shake and bake, and I helped. I helped with that cake.
Yeah, you did.
I was so
You
proud
are
of
from
myself.
Ohio.
I always say that. Like, that commercial just, like,
My
stuck
mom
in my
hates
head.
her. My mom hates that little girl. I don't know why.
I don't
just
even
remember
think
that
I liked
commercial. She'd
her.
be like, I hate her.
I don't think I hated her or liked her. It just that that line and like the way she said
Her,
it,
like, nasally way
it's
of saying it.
in my brain forever. So if I helped with anything, I'm like, shake and bake, and I helped.
I've never
really
seen
good.
this commercial.
Well,
Yeah.
count yourself lucky because you'll turn out like me, saying it all the time, and strangers are like, that poor girl.
I'm
Anyway,
glad one of us
I
has
helped-
that
I helped
knowledge.
with this.
So I used the same recipe and I made a pink version for Pam's birthday, which means it was much more elegant. It did not look like a bunny. That is not her style. And she's really into pink. So it only had pink sprinkles inside and pink sprinkles on the outside, but they were heart-shaped.
I have a question.
Yes.
When are we going to talk about my half birthday cake? It's almost been a year.
Right now.
Okay.
Okay, what would you like for your half birthday?
Well, you
cake?
remember you were talking about doing something because you were your mind was like mind blown by the puppy chow.
Oh, yeah.
You said you wanted to do something with
puppy
chow.
chow cake.
Yeah, that'd
Okay.
be freaking.
But your mind was.
Ooh.
Oh,
She never
I
had
had
puppy
never
chow
had
before.
puppy chow before. Do
I
you
brought
know
it-
what this is?
Yes, of course I know what puppy chow is.
She's like,
Where
duh.
did you, wait, where did you grow up?
Virginia.
Okay, see, this is like an East Coast thing,
I
but
guess.
Lizzie
Or
knew what it
Midwest.
was.
Yeah,
It's a suburban thing.
maybe.
It's definitely a suburban thing because it's one of those like easy to make snacks that comes
And
on
you can
the
make
back
it
of
with
the check
with
spot.
kids. Like
Yeah.
it's a very kid friendly thing to make, like with children.
Right, and it's a soccer snack and a
Yeah,
little
like it's-
Ziploc
It
snack
is
bag.
fucking delicious.
I know.
I know it's
It
we
is
know
so good. She brought it to my house for a tea party, and she was like, "Oh, I have so much. Do you want some?" And I was like, "Yeah." I had ate the shit out of that.
That is such a good idea for a cake, though.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's gonna happen,
Okay.
but it'll be actual pastel.
Yeah. Okay. So my puppy chow wasn't the traditional puppy chow because we had a bunny pastel themed tea party.
Okay.
So I was like, I saw everyone on the internet can do it. Make pastel puppy chow.
Wait, I didn't. That's a thing. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I get
didn't know that.
Yeah. Everybody but me, apparently. It was like gray puppy chow.
Well, all of the powdered sugar absorbs. so
Well,
it's
I didn't
really
use
hard.
I didn't use enough of the dye. So the people they still use powdered sugar, but it was so underneath is so bright that when you cover up powdered sugar, it's pastel.
I feel like you
But
should
I
have
messed
just use
up.
sprinkles.
I messed. I ended up using
We
some
ended
yes.
up
as
yeah,
a backup.
That's how we
plan.
saved it at
Yeah.
the end.
And then I had them in like
Sprinkles
little
are
pastel, like the silicone little cup, like little cupcake pan thing.
Or just when it's in
whatever's-
the bowl, just put some shimmer dust on it and be like, that's
Oh,
at
yeah.
the end.
I have it in
anyway.
a spray bottle.
But I told
know
her
you
that
do.
I made it with white chocolate and then I used the dye. But I told her like traditionally it's made with regular.
Yeah.
Regular.
So
Yeah.
if we use dark chocolate, then we'll just use sprinkles to make it cute.
Whatever. You do whatever. You do you.
Okay.
I'm just gonna eat it. So
Okay.
you do you.
Okay.
I think it'd be a really fun cake though.
Gosh, that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
This needs to be more of a flavor choice for like ice creams and soft serves puppy chow. Because you
Yeah.
could just do like chocolate peanut butter and put Chex Mix in there and be like puppy chow.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
like the actual chunks. Like
Yes.
the actual pieces.
Yeah.
Without some of it broken up and then with
Yeah.
a simple base.
That would all go into ice cream really well.
Yeah.
If you just like add it right at the end of the turning.
Yeah.
You guys.
I need a moment alone right now. With those almonds. I need to go put the almonds. I'll be back.
Do you eat sugar?
Yes. I've had to really cut back. I've made some smart health choices because I am such a sweet tooth.
Oh, me too.
So I love fruit. I am a fruit tourist. Maybe I haven't shared this with you, but I have a labeled photo of all the fruits that when my friends go to Hawaii, I give it to them and I say, these are the ones you need to go and find and eat. So I've really had to cut back. So I do eat some stevia sweetened products now. I know.
I have a stevia sweetened root beer in my fridge, and it is the grossest thing. I can't even
What is
pawn
it?
it off on Zen and Isabel.
What
Oh,
brand?
I'll drink.
Virgil's. You
Oh,
want
I've never had that one.
Yeah.
It-
Can I
they're-
send them with you? Party favors? All right, great.
Because I don't drink soda. I will eat a lot of sugar, so I've had to start, and I can't control myself, so I'll eat a whole chocolate bar. And if it's like the
multiple
right,
chocolate
but if
bars
it's a
right here.
Lily's chocolate bar, one serving size is a half of the bar.
Of a square?
No, it's a half of the bar, and it has stevia and erythritol, and it's enough of a combination of the two that it doesn't taste like stevia. You
That's the
would probably have
problem.
more of a discerning palate than me.
Yeah,
but
I
with
can't
some of my
have
recipes,
stevia
I
in
would
very
just
many
see like
things.
how much of the water-based stevia I could switch out, like just kind of exchange, and then once it hit that threshold, I was like, okay, back it up a little
Yeah.
bit. But you can get away with it to a point.
Okay.
But if it's something is only stevia sweetened, it just tastes like Sweet and Low.
Yeah.
I know, I'm aware.
Doesn't bother me.
Okay?
I mean, if you're
I'm-
used
I
to
don't
it
have it.
and
I'm
you
like,
can do
whatever.
it, then that's great.
So I think that's the only, but I do eat a lot of sugar.
So
And
yeah,
I let
so
things slide.
you're on the puppy chow cake
So-
train as well.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want
Okay.
sugar tonight? Because I
Oh,
made
yes,
some
why-
ice cream that's really good.
Oh shit.
and
was-
it's in my freezer right
I
now.
was like, I'm so excited for salad, but I really hope Robin has a dessert lined
Oh,
up.
okay, good.
I'm
good,
gonna
good.
be strong.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, I'm having ice cream.
Fine, I'll eat your portion.
I do. I
Yeah.
still have gluten-free cupcakes that Kimmy brought over for that, and I took them out of the freezer. I I don't know how they're gonna defrost.
just-
That's
but
okay.
I
We'll
took
eat
them
it
out
with ice
knowing you
cream.
were coming. Okay.
It's a special occasion, so
Mush it up in
It
ice
is.
cream.
Our podcast is a special occasion.
Anyway, I like that. That'd be
Okay.
nice.
Okay. When are we celebrating?
Well,
How much time do I have to develop this?
I mean,
recipe?
well,
Is
it's
what
my
I
half
want.
birthday, whatever.
Okay.
And it would be so
Summer.
easy because you can make like the nice pile on the top, and you can
Yeah.
line the bottom, and
It'd
it's
be like a decoration.
rustic puppy
yes.
chow with sprinkles. It decorates itself.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Well, my half birthday is July 27th, but we don't have to do it then.
Really?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's
My
a
birthday
good
is
time.
July 30th.
Okay, that's my hat. My birthday
Do
is
you-
January 27th.
Oh, it would be. It's gonna be a gluten
So-
cake though. I'm gonna, It's
okay.
gonna be filled with gluten.
Oh yeah,
Is
extra, please.
Is Chex Mix gluten free?
Yes.
Oh.
Not the wheat one, but the corn and the rice ones.
Oh.
But a yellow cake gluten free is very difficult. That's a hard thing.
Why does it have to be yellow cake?
It doesn't, but I don't.
Just in case
I
you're
don't-
wondering.
Yeah. If I happen to be here, I don't want to get in the way of your creative process.
I'm really bad at making gluten free cakes.
Maybe just have a taste. And then
Chocolate.
you're like, oh, and then
It's
Chocolate
easy.
is easier
Chocolate
because you
is
can just
easy.
swap out cocoa.
I have
powder.
made.
that sounds chocolate like sounds. Or you could do like a peanut butter cake, like peanut butter flavored actual cake.
Yeah, now they have that
That'd be too
PB2
much.
stuff.
Oh, I don't know. I'm letting you do your thing.
Oh, I haven't used that in baking yet.
Oh, you should.
That's really exciting.
That's the only thing it's good for.
You
Come on, who wants
Yeah.
low fat peanut butter in their
But
smoothies?
also, like, they make it with sugar already. So I'm like, you're trying to give it to people to be healthy, and it's like peanut solids and
oh
sugar.
really?
Which
I
thought
never
was
even
really bizarre.
noticed.
So I was like, I just eat peanut butter. This is stupid.
Yeah, just eat peanut
I
butter.
just heard it by reputation. I don't know anything about it.
Sometimes I just go in the fridge and I just take a spoon of peanut butter and I just eat it off the spoon.
I'm just gonna almond butter. Almond butter.
Almond butter.
It's almond butter.
That
Almond.
That
Almond.
judgment look.
I
you gave
used to
me.
only eat almond butter too, and
I'm
then
just-
I get
it just
my
sounds
food
good.
kicks last a couple years. So it was like almond butter solid for like 3 years, and
Yeah.
now the Santa Cruz brand peanut butter. It is the perfect roast, perfect amount of salt. It's what I've been weaning myself off of bars, like eating a bar when I need a snack, and because it's just a candy bar.
Yeah.
Like, bars are just candy bars, and so I apples with peanut butter, and sometimes I get a
I
little
love
crazy.
that's the only way I can eat an apple.
Oh my god, I love it.
I really
know.
like a pink lady with peanut butter.
Yes, that.
And
I had two today.
what is the one that starts with M? Mutsu, I want to say, but I don't know if that's right. Mutsu? What's Mutsu? Does it
Don't
mean
look at
anything
me.
else? Okay, then that's the apple. If it's not another word that means something else, then it's definitely the apple.
Where are you getting those from?
Farmer's Market, dog.
Oh yeah.
You guys must have good farmers markets in Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz has a very good farmers market, but I work on Wednesdays now.
Wednesdays is your farmer's market day, huh?
It is until 5. It's really good.
Don't say I work Wednesdays now. You work 7 days a week. That
Yes,
means
I
I
do.
could say, oh, what about the farmer's market on Saturday, Kristen? What about that one? What about the one on Sunday?
But I don't work all day on Thursday and Friday. So
Oh.
anyway, I don't want to talk about it. I really miss the farmers market.
Well, let's talk about the cake you were talking about. then.
Yes. Okay. So that cake is on the blog. I made a banana split cake because then requested banana cake, which I was like,
You're like,
Gross and
I gotta
weird.
robin this up.
yes. So he insisted there was not allowed to be any chocolate in it, which I'm just like,
Oh,
who
are you
even
sure
you?
he's your child?
I don't think so.
Oh, this is for your kid?
Yeah.
And he wanted something that you don't even like to make.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a Freudian thing.
You have
Rebel.
no choice. You have to
Rebel.
make it.
Yeah. It's like, Mom, I want a fruit cake. And you're like, I don't make that.
Every year he wants something so weird with no chocolate in it. He doesn't like chocolate. And I'm like, not related.
Untrustworthy.
I know. So I did make a banana split cake. It came out actually really good. It was my first time making a whipped cream frosting instead of a buttercream. And I really like it. It's so light. I mean, I made a whipped cream frosting for your cake, but that was because it was an ice cream cake. So it made more sense.
What did you make the whipped cream out of?
Coconut milk, canned coconut milk.
Okay.
Full fat.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then I just thickened it with powdered sugar and with xanthan gum.
You have to do powdered sugar with the coconut milk or it'll be bitter. Because I used to do, make the coconut whip for pancakes, and I would just put agave or maple syrup, and then I was like, ugh. It just tastes like the kind of bitter coconut meat. But as soon as I started putting powdered sugar in, I was like, yes, this is...
Sugar makes everything better.
I know, but powdered sugar also.
I know, the puppy chow. It's like,
Oh, the puppy chow.
Yeah. We're always back to puppy chow.
This is a powdered
Life
sugar podcast.
just comes back and back to powdered sugar and puppy chow, and specifically.
So yes. So the banana split cake was a huge success. I've made it 3 times since then, which is so weird. Of course, every time I've made it, chocolate frosting. I also made vegan crispy pretzel chicken fries, which is a hell of a mouthful. So here's what happened.
My brain is catching up.
I normally don't make fried food. I don't like frying it. I don't like the smell in the kitchen. It's not good for you, yada
Coats
yada.
everything.
Yeah, it's just gross, right? But I was looking at Instagram, and fucking Instagram marketing ads showed me that Burger King had just introduced this new thing on their menu.
I never thought I'd hear this sentence coming out of your mouth so far.
I know. Never have I ever looked at a Burger King ad and wanted what I saw until now. And it looked so good that I went out and bought the ingredients that day and then came home and made it. And it was so fucking good.
Really?
Yeah. So good. I didn't buy the Beyond Meat. I got the Gardein, but Beyond Meat is gluten-free, so that one would be just as good.
Yeah.
And I just did a normal, how you would batter something, but I put pretzels in the food processor. And so that was one of the outside layer.
Thanks, Burger King.
Thanks, Burger King. It was very delicious, but wow, what a lot of work frying food.
I know. It's so much work. It's gross. You feel gross afterwards, too, I feel like. So then I don't even want to eat it because I feel like I'm coated in oil.
Oh, I felt great.
From the outside, then you eat it, and it's seeping out from the inside.
Yeah.
So you're just seeping from everywhere.
Probably was. All I know is every time I left the house and came back into the house for 48 hours after, all I smelled was fried food, and I was like, never again.
But that was your first shot at it, and it turned out really well.
So good. It made it to the blog.
Those first-time successes aren't common.
They're not. I was very impressed. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's weird. The rest of the world was not as excited about it, but... Okay. This is the other thing I want to talk about. So, there's this cookbook called Great Vegan BBQ Without a Grill. It is written by Linda and Alex Meyer. It just came in the mail, and I only had time to make one thing out of it before we recorded this, but I want to talk about it. It's called Easy Peasy Black-Eyed Pea Burgers, and it is exactly like you would think. It was easy. It was peasy. It's peasy.
That was going to be my next question.
And I feel like I'm a bad vegan because I only eat black-eyed peas on New Year's Day. How is that possible?
That's an East Coast thing.
They're so good for you, and I never eat them. Hardly
I
at
only
all.
ever eat them on New Year's Day, too.
Yeah. It's so
But we
sweet.
ate them today.
Yes, because I had them left over for making this.
I was like, I hope you didn't have them left over from New Year's Day.
Things without a grill.
Whenever I make beans, I always make way more than I need because I feel like then I'll just eat them for the week or whatever.
But when they go bad, it's disgusting.
You can't let things go bad.
I know.
Ever.
I don't.
Very confident. Very confident.
Pam just told me the other day I brought her groceries, or maybe we went to Rainbow together, picked out groceries. She said it all went bad because she's so not used to having fresh food in her refrigerator. She said she didn't even think that she had it.
From Rainbow?
I know.
That's sad.
I know.
On the rare time when something goes bad, it just especially if it's not opened, it's just like a
sad,
slap
right?
in the face.
Yeah.
I throw it away so angrily. I'm just like, ah, damn it! And I'm so upset about it.
It is very
When
upsetting.
it happens. It doesn't happen
I hate
often,
wasting.
but I'm just so mad. Because it's like literally, it's like just, like, I might as well be throwing like $5 in the trash.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So, easy peasy black-eyed pea burgers. I didn't follow the recipe exactly because apparently I don't have the ability to do that. Every burger recipe calls for these panko breadcrumbs. I cannot find them organic anywhere. So,
No, I don't think they are.
substituted chips because somehow when you buy a bag of chips, half of the bag is chips and half of the bag is just dust, chip dust.
Yeah, but are they as absorbent as breadcrumbs?
Yes, surprisingly.
Wow.
I know. Anyway, so I
That's
did that.
indulgent.
One of the things was aquafaba, which I refuse to use
Oh, yeah.
because it's disgusting.
Yeah, she doesn't like that.
There's a lot of recipes.
She's
in here
got
that
strong
have that.
feelings.
So I subbed. Oh, I just used. I used both mashed potato flakes, and I used some of that neat egg that Sarah got me.
This is
It's
kind of annoying though because
basically
you
like
have
chia.
to make aquafaba. Like you have to have.
I hate
it
when they
ready.
do that.
But it calls for black-eyed peas, so you're just using the liquid that came
so
in.
you don't
the
have to
pan.
like boil it down to like concentrate it or anything for this.
Oh, good call. It didn't say anything about that.
I hate
It
when you have
should
a
just
recipe
say-
and it does that.
Like
Bean water.
yeah,
Yeah.
Juice
People
from
don't
can
like
of
that
beans.
word. No, it just said reserved aquafaba. It never said anything about cooking it
What
down.
if you're new and you're like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is aquafaba? That is a made up word. It's a great word, but it is
Yeah.
because it's not bean water.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
why,
it's-
someone would read that
it's-
and be like, what is that? Just the reserved juice of beans.
That's good.
Ew.
Reserved juice of beans. Weird. That didn't somehow we
Didn't
didn't
land.
sell it. For
Didn't
actually-
land for me.
Was it better than my bean water? You guys don't even want to know what I call
Bean
it
milk?
when I'm not
How do you milk a
talking
bean?
to you guys. I say
But whatever.
bean milk. I don't know.
I get like aquafaba. I like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like it's like a little
I
bean.
did think
right, again,
aquafaba
like
was after it's been
Aquaman, but a bean.
produced,
That's what it makes me think of. But
Aquaman.
like aquafaba makes me think of like a bean superhero that like lives in the ocean. Or
Her name's
something.
Aquafaba.
Okay, I think those are the only alterations I made. They're delicious. It's not like a firm patty, obviously, because it's a bean patty. It's kind of like the burger at Plant Cafe, like the beet burger.
I haven't had it,
It's like soft,
Mm-hmm.
but it was delicious.
but I like
Good.
bean burgers. That's like my we've talked about a million times. We don't like beef.
Yeah,
the
we don't
beef
like
stuff.
the-
So
don't like the Booga Burger stuff. So anyway, yeah. So this is the only recipe I've made, but I think it was a hit, and I'm excited to try more things.
hurrah.
Those are all the things I made, but can I talk about things I ate in San Diego?
Mhm.
So I also went to Plant Power. I went to Donna Jean, which I've had Donna Jean food at like Vegan Bear Fests, but never gone there. Fucking phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah, the mac and cheese. That's when I texted you and I
yeah,
said,
I
"Is
know.
this?" Because she has a list of top 10 mac and cheese.
Top 5, and it hasn't
oh,
been updated in
top
a long time. I should get on it.
But anyway, so good.
Maybe it should be top.
Like very, very good. So that was really awesome. And then my favorite place was this place called Kindred, which is a vegan metal bar.
What?
Yeah, so cool. Everything about it was so cool. On the menu, they had is it called the Orin from the symbol from Neverending Story?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, on the menus it has that.
I never
That
got
movie's so
over
good.
like when Atreyu is this the horse's name was Atreyu, right? Or was it his name?
Because he screams a tray.
Okay. I can remember.
I know there's so many like unique names in there, huh? The
Wait.
Orin, yeah.
Yeah, you were right. Good
Okay.
job.
Oh, okay, there it is. I was looking at this because it was highlighted. When that
I
horse
also
goes
had
into
to
the
ask my
mud,
internet.
it was
Yeah,
over for
it's
me.
sad.
I never
It's
was
so
the same.
sad.
I was
huh?
never the same.
I know.
My childhood
Wait, was that
changed?
Was Atreyu the boy's name or the horse's name?
That's what I was asking. I don't remember. Because the other boy says Atreyu out the window, but I think it's the boy in the story, not.
You,
Look
boy
it
in
up.
the
Look it
school.
up. What's
Yeah.
the horse's name?
Oh man, I just closed the freaking window.
And then what's the wolf's
maybe it
name?
doesn't
I
have a
wanna
name.
remember.
Maybe it doesn't have a name.
No, it
because
does, 'cause he is-
Bastion screams Atreyu at
Yeah.
the boy.
Yeah.
So Atreyu's the
The
boy.
horse is,
Yeah.
and the kid's name is Bastion.
Yeah.
Like, is it Sebastian or?
Just
Bastion.
Bastion.
Hold on, I just want to think if I can remember.
Oh my god, this is like my childhood in Ohio. What the thing?
We're bringing you back.
Artax? Artax.
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 Yeah, I remember.
I do remember that.
That
now.
kid was such a good
And the
actor.
pictures of him in the mud.
He was such a good actor, and he just was like, who was he? Where did he go?
I don't know, but I have goosebumps even thinking about it.
Oh,
It's so traumatizing to me. It's so upsetting.
You have a lot of traumatizing movies from your
I
childhood.
don't know.
She hates E.T.
I was gonna say E.T. is a traumatizing movie for me. I would not sleep facing. I would sleep facing my wall because I was afraid if I faced out, E.T.'s head would just rise up and stare
Just
at me.
elevate from the neck.
I thought he was terrifying.
Oh yeah, I hate him.
He's an ugly little
literally
man.
This week, I'm still terrified of him. Like this week, I was on Instagram and there was some vegan meme because it was like, oh, when you put your finger in the hummus or whatever, and it was ET with his little finger. That was the meme or something. And I was just scrolling and we were watching TV and I was like, ah! And I screamed. And it was like, I hate him so much. It's like a running joke in my family. People will send me things in the mail, text me pictures of him.
Maybe I would find it adorable now, but I kind of like that I hate
You won't.
E.T.
You
well,
won't.
you guys have that in common.
You won't find it adorable.
Scary little man.
You won't
He has
find it
bad
adorable.
skin. He overtans.
You
I
won't.
don't like it.
The only part of the movie I liked is when he died. And then he had to come back.
You're so evil. Worst vegan ever.
He's evil. He's evil.
Mm-mm.
No, I just didn't like him because he was ugly, and I was like 5.
Well, I have evidence that he's ugly. I mean, he's ugly, yes, but he's
Yeah.
evil.
But it probably wasn't nice for me as a little kid to just not like him because I didn't find him attractive.
Oh, I just hate
The
him.
beauty of being a little kid is that is acceptable.
Yeah.
I just hate
You don't
him.
have to have any better reason for not liking someone.
I hate him. Okay, let's move on. I'm getting... I'm
Okay.
gonna have to sleep with the lights on tonight.
That's all for the dinner at the Dollhouse. Oh wait, one more thing. I ate brunch at Anthem, which was also good. And one more thing. I had coffee at Heartwork, which is the fucking coolest cafe. It's not all vegan, but they have like super cute like things placed strategically around. Like the bathroom has like this like Lionel Richie thing in it. I know it sounds weird, but I mean it's a cool place, and I loved the coffee, and I went there a lot. And they make their vanilla from scratch.
You went there a lot over the 2 days?
Yeah, I went there 3 times over the 2 days I
Oh
was
my
there.
goodness.
What kind of food did you eat at Kindred? The
Oh
bar.
my gosh. They had the best fried pickles. Ask me why.
Why?
Because the batter to pickle ratio was perfect. No one has that. Everyone, it's too much pickle to batter. I can't handle too much pickle to batter.
I don't think that you can have too much pickle.
You're wrong.
That was such an Ohio
I'm sorry
thing to
that
say.
your opinion
I'm a
is wrong.
pickle addict.
I don't think
pickle
you were going
addict.
to have too much pickle. I love pickles too. I don't think I've ever had
like
fried
pickles,
pickles
too.
before.
I don't think I have either. But if I did, I wouldn't be concerned about the pickle ratio. As long as it was too much pickle. If it was like too much batter
there was
and
a
not
place
pickle,
in New
then-
York where I ordered fried pickles, and they came as spears. And I was like,
Oh.
unacceptable.
I mean,
No.
it has to
you
be
wouldn't kick them out of
chips.
bed,
Yeah.
but I'd rather have the whole.
I wanted to kick them out of bed.
Wouldn't they get too soggy as spears?
Yeah, 'cause
it
it's, like,
wasn't-
exposed,
Yeah, it wasn't,
kind of.
yeah, it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't-
love that there's so many vegan places that now if you're going to open a new vegan place, it has to be a niche. I love
Yeah.
that.
It has to be
Vegan
special.
Metal
It can't
bar.
just be.
So
it can't
cool.
just be vegan.
They had like
It has to
all
have
these
something new,
like
something
black
different.
cat art in the bathroom. So cute. Everything was so cute. There was this giant wolf head. It's so big that you can't sit at that booth without having a giant wolf ahead of you on top of you. It was hilarious.
That's cool.
But yeah, the wallpaper is by far my favorite.
How do people afford to open these places?
They charge a lot for the food, I
Okay.
think.
It takes a lot to just
And
open it
we'll pay
before
for
you
it,
serve
so.
anything, though, too.
And almost the entire restaurant was a giant bar. They were probably making so much money on drinks, I'm guessing.
That is a very good business model.
Right?
I want to open a vegan restaurant, but we need to make money.
Yeah.
And maybe your vegan restaurant will be really successful, but it's hard to roll the dice when you're putting so much money into it. So if you sell alcohol, you're good to go.
Yeah. A lot of people were there just drinking. We were there on a Friday evening, so it makes sense. But was it? Yeah, I think so. So yeah, the fried pickles were like the highlight for sure. But everything we had was really, really good.
Very cool.
Yeah, I recommend it. Okay, that's all I've been eating.
Okay.
Should we?
We had a salad tonight.
I know. I'm sure everybody who follows me on Instagram, looks at my blog or listens to this podcast thinks all I eat is junk food because I don't talk about
That's
the
what I
salad.
think.
Yeah, why?
I
Nobody
like
wants to hear
never
about that
talk about the
shit.
salads.
Mhm.
I eat
Nobody wants
salad
to hear
every
about
day,
that.
but no one cares.
I eat salad most days, and nobody wants to hear about that. What's interesting about that? I want to hear about the good stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's good.
I
I
get
like
most
salads, but
excited about my salad.
exciting stuff.
And the salad bar that came out today before this podcast, oh my gosh. Made my night.
Did you like the sauerkraut? I make it.
You made that?
Yeah.
There wasn't
It
any
was
left,
delicious.
and I like sauerkraut.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, "What's this weird dressing?" It was just
Oh,
the
shit.
red goo. I didn't put any on because I was like, "I don't know what this is." And why is there a fork in it?
Oh.
How are you gonna get it out with a fork? And then I just moved on to the next thing.
I'm so sorry.
I love sauerkraut.
The next batch, you'll get some. It'll be ready in
I like it with
4 years.
It takes actually it's a lot faster in the summer. It gets ready
Oh,
way
yeah,
quicker.
of course. I lived in a punk collective in Brooklyn, and we had a 5-gallon bucket under the counter. I mean, all of those collectives are just disgusting and rotating people. So we had a kombucha mother that lived on top of our fridge for
Oh wow.
who knows how long. It was never touched when I lived there, and probably grew legs and slithered away. But we had a 5-gallon bucket of sauerkraut that had been underneath the counter the whole time I lived there, and eventually one night someone threw it off the roof. I'm sure it wasn't. I don't think it was a massive explosion. The EPA was not called. But yeah, it lived there for a long time.
Oh my goodness. And it's just because of the turnover in those houses.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
everyone's like,
And
I
the
don't know
New
whose
York
it is.
summer times, I'm sure that sauerkraut was,
Smelly.
I don't know what type of matter would have been in there by the time they opened it up. I didn't see it when it was thrown off the roof, but it was a
I've
minor
only had
explosion.
success with sauerkraut making small batches.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like whenever I try to make a big batch, somehow it gets contaminated.
I have a great success when I go to the store and buy it. Never.
What would you say your
fails.
success ratio is?
100% success rate.
What kind do you buy?
I don't buy it often.
Oh, okay.
I just buy whatever. There's sauerkraut. I look at the label.
Oh,
And
okay.
I
Yours
buy it.
Because
really
there's so many
good.
different kinds, I feel like.
Just
I
like
like
the
that it wasn't
regular.
fermented for way too long because it wasn't overly strong.
Just
It was
Oh,
perfect.
yeah.
regular
Yeah.
old sauerkraut.
That's usually because I'm impatient.
regular old Midwestern sauerkraut. That's what I want. I want it to say from Midwest.
Well, they have that farmhouse one at Farmer's Market, and it's delicious, and
Mm-hmm.
they have all those really unique flavors, but it's so expensive. I'm like, I cannot. I'm not
They
made
have
of money.
shots of the juice, which is the most disgusting
Ew.
thing I've ever.
Is that good for you? I always throw
Yeah,
the
it's
liquid away
probiotics.
when I'm done.
Probiotics. They sell them in bottles now.
Oh,
yeah, I don't want
It's,
the
my
juice.
sister used to drink pickle juice. It seems like kind of in the same
Oh, I used
ballpark.
to. I wasn't have a glass of it, but I was like, no more pickles left in this jar.
I just don't need that. You know.
Yeah.
I'll buy a delicious kombucha.
Well, I feel like I have a sodium problem as it is, so
Oh yeah, you don't need that.
no. I'm dreading the day that my doctor's like, you have to cut out salt. I'm just might as well kill myself. Just kill me. Here, kill me. So, Kristen,
Yes.
how long have you been vegan?
I've been vegan about 15 and a half years.
Okay,
It
so
was
that's
November
long.
of 2002.
Do you do that thing where you celebrate your vegan anniversary?
No,
Okay.
but I do I do get excited when the day, I think
When it
it was
rolls
the middle
around.
of November, because when I first went vegan, I was like, I can't wait till I've been vegan for 10 years, and I'm like, I'm so stoked when I can say I've been vegan for 20 years. Don't talk to me. I really, yeah, I don't celebrate it, but it's definitely still a landmark.
You celebrate it on the inside?
On the inside, I do.
I celebrate it. I celebrate mine.
I think
Every
you
day.
celebrate it during the first, most people celebrate during the first 5 years, and then yeah, I'm excited, but I don't have time to celebrate anything these days.
Aw. Okay,
Yeah.
so do you remember the time that you went vegan and what made you go vegan?
Yeah, I went vegan because I was, I was a punk kid, and a lot of my friends were vegan or vegetarian, and I think that it was right after high school, and that's when I was actually receptive to hearing about what was happening to my food, where it came from, and always have loved animals. My mom was the type of mom that would be like, don't sit on the porch swing, there's a spider that made her web connected to it.
Aww.
So I learned compassion at a really young age, and I remember there was this hippie weirdo in my high school that was like, here's a PETA list of the cosmetics you can buy and for your wallet. And I was like, hey, whatever, weirdo. But I still have that list.
Oh my gosh.
Even though I don't really buy cosmetics anymore. And it's so strange how you can look back at a time in your life when you were exposed to it and were not receptive to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, after you graduate high school and you're living on your own, those are your formative years. And I was, you know,
and I think
starting
that also,
to rage out like all the other punk kids. And
yeah,
this is
having
another
that
thing
experience where you can remember somebody trying to like inform you or whatever, and you weren't receptive, makes you more compassionate with people that now you're the other side of it, and they might not be at the point where they're ready to take it on.
Yeah,
so it's a good, you know, kind of a good, valuable experience to have, I think.
Yeah, that's very true. It's really strange because I know people who've been vegetarian for years, and I've been, you know, I don't push it, but I'll talk to them about it, and then all of a sudden they'll be like, they're vegan, they're doing activism, they're just so passionate because something clicks, or there's some part of them that opens up and they want to be receptive to it.
I was vegetarian for 5 years before I went vegan, and I'm vegan for 6 years now. So
it's hard to. We live in a world where there's so many terrible things happening, and it's hard to make yourself open to how awful the world can be.
Feel.
But yeah, I remember I had a really supportive community. The Richmond, Virginia punk scene. There's an art school there. There's a great music scene there. A lot of people were active in, you know, many different things. And I had some good friends that were vegan, and I was right on board with all the animal rights stuff, but I didn't want to change my lifestyle until I connected the dots, until that bridge gapped between my food and where it came from, because I didn't want to backslide. And then one day, one of my coworkers was like, do you want a bite of this Egg McMuffin? And I was like, no, I don't. And that was it. And I definitely had some slip-ups because there were things that I never encountered because I wasn't vegetarian before. And like someone offered me some ice cream at a Mexican restaurant, and I was like, sure. And I ate it. And I remember driving a week later and going,
yeah,
oh
it dawned on you.
I ate the ice cream. Like it just didn't connect. And yeah.
Yeah, one thing, at least for vegetarianism, it is like, you know, it can be a bridge. So, you know, you're thinking, okay, I don't want meat, and then you could start thinking about other stuff. But like, if you're going like directly to, I mean, it's like overnight you're supposed to be thinking of every single thing you're eating.
Right, totally.
And not even thinking about, I mean, there's still stuff now that like I buy or whatever that I'm like, oh, right. Like when you talked about painting the walls.
Yeah.
There's just, you have to be thinking and like learning about it. But not so much nowadays about what we're eating, because I'm doing it for a little bit, but
now everything's labeled.
Always, yeah.
But it's a great gateway drug into questioning everything you buy and being a responsible consumer. Because back in the day, you had to read all of your ingredient lists, and then you'd start realizing, like, not only does this thing have unneeded, like, milk powder in it, but also, like, it has all these ingredients that I can't pronounce. There's I was never a healthy kid. I came from a very conventional household.
Me too.
We ate normal ass food, iceberg lettuce. Like, I don't think that...
You had lettuce, so that's nice.
The iceberg lettuce counts as lettuce?
My mom had her...
You guys are healthy.
My mom had her first, like, Macintosh apple, like, 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
You know, we just had all of the standard fare. So it was, like, such a world of discovery when I first went vegan, and a world of rage and wanting to question everything. And the rage lives on. That's for sure.
Keep those fires burning.
Yeah, but I had a lot of support. Richmond was actually a really great city to go vegan in.
It's so nice there.
Yeah, they have great restaurants, great food, and a lot of those restaurants have been around for a long time.
I just went for my first time.
I know.
And had never gone. Every single place I went played punk rock music.
Yes!
I was like, oh, I love it here. But
it's such a great place for,
it
like,
was really cool.
small business owners, and there's a great community of, like, punk business owners because you can afford it.
Yeah.
You can actually afford it. I have friends in Richmond who complain about the prices, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah, they don't get to complain.
No.
Oh, yeah, no.
California.
Bunny Machine was telling us how cheap it was to live there, and I was like, well, we could move here. I mean, Jessica and I were, like, seriously considering
and have
it.
a beautiful house.
Yeah, but it was so cold. By the end of our trip, we were like, just kidding, we can't.
Go in the summertime.
Yeah,
It's
but
different.
if we move, there, we have to deal with winter too.
You be a snowbird and you just live there in the summer
yeah.
and leave.
Yeah.
I could
It's
be
cheap.
a snowbird.
You can do that.
Where do I live the other 6 months?
Here? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come back to David.
You could save up enough
in
money
in
to
the winter.
afford living here.
Oh yeah, that's true. I could work remote. I mean, I already basically do.
Your life. We just planned it out for you.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Okay, I can't podcast anymore. I have to go. Okay, so you definitely found veganism through punk rock. You were an activist for a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was mostly kind of the similar path that a lot of new vegans, where you start discovering how to A, make food, and then B, bake food, and then you get really obsessed with, like, I was really into, this was way back before there were vegan croissants and vegan tiramisu, and I was like, I want to make all of this stuff that's impossible and make it vegan, and so I did a lot of, vegan bake sales and things
nice.
like that. But my activism was definitely not as, I was kind of a quiet vegan. I have a lot of friends that were like very loud and had a very strong, angry group around them, which is awesome. I love having that now, but people dropped off the wagon very, very easily and very quickly in Richmond.
Burnt out emotionally and everything.
But I mean, like, I don't know, my friends in Richmond were vegan for like 2 years. Not now. There's a great scene now, but at the time, the people that were around me, so it was kind of like a slow ascent into where I am now. But I knew Chrissy from Vegan Action, and she does a lot of the like certified vegan labels on food around there. So I sold some recipe zines through her, and I didn't do a ton of tabling, but I did a lot of like vegan baking and had tables at vegetarian festivals and things like that.
That's fun.
I got really into the food. I moved to New York and worked in restaurants, and that was kind of a big focus because I learned about eating healthy also. So that became another.
That's a whole nother thing. Just because you're vegan, you're eating healthy every meal. It's not. It's healthier, but
right.
It's not necessarily
right. I started. You start questioning your ingredients, and then you start questioning like, oh, eating like the right thing can make me feel differently, and so I got very into the food portion and less into the political activism. But yeah.
When were any of the restaurants that you worked at still around?
No.
Oh, okay.
But they were all vegan.
Nice.
One of them was vegetarian, but the one I worked at that I eventually became the head chef at was a raw vegan restaurant.
Oh, okay.
But it was New York,
That
so it was
makes
fancy. It wasn't like California crunchy raw vegan restaurant.
What does that mean? So it's not like Cafe Gratitude.
No.
No one asked you.
No.
No one asked you any
beautiful.
questions
No.
of the day when you sat down.
No, we had a very, very, very fancy clientele for our like prefix dinners, and it was very high pressure. But I learned a lot. I was too young to have that job. It was so stressful.
Aw.
And that's why I eat so simply now. This is why I eat the same salad every day for like years, because I'm like, I don't want to make food anymore.
I'm a creature of habit, so I do the different reasons, but I'm a creature of habit. I just like
Same.
Yeah.
the same
If you find something you like, you stick with
I
it.
know.
I do the same thing when I go to restaurants. I order the same exact thing every time I go.
And then, of course, you
I'm like,
try,
I like it.
One day you're feeling frisky, feeling adventurous.
And then
you try
you
something
get
different, and you're
poison.
like, why?
Yeah.
It sucks.
yeah.
true.
Like, it was not as good as the thing I usually get. Why? I learned my lesson. Curses. Yeah. But then once in a while, you do get a goodie. And then you're like, this is why I step out of the box.
Brave.
Live my life. Live brave.
Yeah, I don't live brave. Ashley's the brave for both of us.
This was so long ago. I want to say like I did all this activism, but I didn't. The scene that I was in wasn't, like the scene in Salt Lake City that was like a really angry, or up in like New Jersey with like the Shack 7, like that. It would have been cool to have those experiences, but I'm kind of happy that I like was able to individually grow into like what I wanted to do as a vegan, and kind of how those things shaped me rather than having the world around me shape me. Because I have a lot of friends that have like kind of turned against that because so much of who they were was molded by the people around them and the scene around them. And they're not vegan anymore.
Oh, no. How do you deal with that? Having a friend that was vegan and then decides that they're not going to be vegan.
I give them a really hard time.
Yeah.
I think for a little while I was known as the person that like you didn't want to tell, and you deserve it. Like you know what's happening.
Yeah.
You went vegan because you felt very strongly about what was happening, and now you don't care. And it's not hard to be vegan.
No,
it's
it's not
so
at all.
easy. Like that is just scratching. That is the least you can do.
Yeah.
That is the least you can do to just respect the planet and the animals on it. Like we might not be making a damn difference, but I have respect, and this is how I show it.
If nothing else, it makes me sleep better at night.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Like
very
I can't partake, and it's not just something you do. It's a part of who you are, and deciding that you don't care anymore, or maybe you never cared. I question your character as a person.
I don't really get that. I've never had that situation, so I don't know. Whatever, like most of my family eats meat and stuff, but I feel like I've always been like I make a decision or I learn something or whatever it is, and I don't drink alcohol and stuff. So this is stuff that I've decided that I'm not interested in or taking part in, and I've decided it, and that's how my life is. And I've never wavered back to things. That's just my personality, I think. So I've never had to worry about that.
You're
like,
making
personally
decisions for yourself.
Yeah, I guess so. But I just never. I make a decision, an informed decision, and then that's it. I shelf it and I go on with my life, and I just live it from that decision. So I can't relate to that.
Right. I can't
personally,
relate either.
But I don't
And a
know.
lot of these people
It's
are
not
people
me.
who've been vegan for over 10 years. This is
Wow,
kind
yeah.
of the age where we're watching people who are like, I'll never have kids, or like they're like, I will never not.
That's me too. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one of my decisions.
Like
Yeah.
I'll be straight edge forever, or I'll be vegan forever, and it makes like, how can you not question that character, especially when it comes to veganism? Like we are choosing to not support nightmarish things that happen in the world, and then to be able to turn a blind eye, like that would be too much effort for me to just be like, I will ignore it and never think about that while I eat this burger. Like
Personally, for me, it's easier to just not do it than to have to live with it.
right,
Yeah.
but also it's 2018. It is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
easy to be
Yeah.
vegan.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's crazy that like you have to make an effort to. I have fostered cats, and so I've had to cook meat for them.
Yeah.
And I would have to call my mom and be like, how do I do this? Oh, I have to sanitize things. Like, this sucks. This is too much effort.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
And so how long were you fostering cats?
I started doing rescue maybe like 11 years ago. So when I lived in New York, I worked with an animal rescue, and I would foster for them, and they did a lot of TNR, which is trap, neuter / spay and return. So we would go find feral cat colonies and try to get as many of them spayed and neutered as we could, and then as a byproduct of that, you end up with kittens or animals that are really injured, so they end up becoming socialized after you have rehabbed them. So I did fostering for them, and then after I left New York, I traveled for a while and volunteered at some farm sanctuaries. But when I landed in Santa Cruz, I immediately find the rescues, and I'm like, I know how to bottle feed. I can do this. And then they dump animals on you, which is amazing. That if you ever need therapy, just volunteer with animals.
Yeah.
The end. Like, it's much cheaper therapy, and it's benefiting something else. So on and off for the past 11 years.
And so, because you already had experience, I'm sure it's a lot easier for people to let you in. What if somebody wanted to volunteer and they had zero experience?
I mean, it depends. Anybody can volunteer. There's always something to do. I mean, if
Do you mean specifically fostering?
No.
Oh,
Just,
okay.
Any type of...
Everywhere that I've ever volunteered, more bodies and just more, it can be anything.
They'll show you anything you need to know.
Exactly.
Right?
And whenever we had new foster parents, we would give them easy cats, but I no longer work with the cats. I work at a wildlife center now, and we have one woman that comes in and does laundry, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's all got to be done.
Yeah,
Right, it
and a
doesn't
lot
have
of the
special
smaller
skills.
rescues need help outside of taking care of the animals.
Yeah.
Smaller rescues need help fundraising. They need help marketing.
Admin stuff. I mean,
oh my gosh, it's so much work. These are the like silent heroes of, you know, animal welfare, are people that are working so hard to raise animals that are sick, not having any time to fundraise themselves. I mean, I was able to claim a pretty large donation for all of the money I spent on fostering cats, and I got a lot of money back on my taxes. But like, small rescues are amazing, but they could always use help. Any help, grant writing, anything that you can. You know, my Christmas list every year is just the list of places I want my family to donate to, and it's so much more important for the smaller rescues to get that money. I mean, just a couple $100s is a huge deal. So Animal Shelter Relief in Santa Cruz can definitely use donations. They're run by an amazing woman who, you know, regardless of how much crap she's dealt with from humans and how many terrible things she's seen, she's worked in the shelters, she knows how to run a rescue, and she makes really great decisions. So if anybody needs to donate money, Animal Shelter Relief in Santa Cruz, California needs it.
Do you work there also?
No longer. I don't have.
That's where you were working before.
That was where I was volunteering.
Oh, okay.
And I probably had over like a year and a half, 100 foster kittens.
Oh my gosh.
I know
I saw some
Yeah.
of them.
You just walk in the room and it was just like,
There's so many. They're everywhere. Yeah, I mean, the playing with them part was fun,
They're
but
all
then
like-
you had to do a lot of work.
Yeah, because they're never healthy.
Yeah.
They're never healthy. Little kittens are like little kids, and if they're in a shelter, it's like a daycare.
Yeah,
If one of them
spreads.
gets sick, it spreads. So, yeah, it's a lot of work, but especially when you're working with domestic animals, they love you back. So
Yeah.
it's very therapeutic, but you also, like, you lose animals. You know, mammals have a lot of offspring because some of them won't make it.
Yeah.
And you learn that pretty fast.
I'm sure it's as heartbreaking as it is rewarding.
It is.
Yeah.
But people would always say, "Oh, I love that, but I couldn't do it because I would just be too sad." But that's what drives you. You see how many animals need to get out of the shelters, and like, you can't turn a blind eye. That's how you end up doing rescue forever. Is once you are exposed to how much help is needed, you can't stop. You feel guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you were saying, if you stopped being vegan, you would feel so guilty. It's just the same. Like, once you're exposed to it, and you know, you have a bathroom.
A certain reality or information. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did a lot of rescue. We would pull animals that that just would not do well in the shelters, or they're too young to be in the shelters. And so that's the type of rescue that I worked at before, or that I volunteered with before. And I helped a lot with design and fundraising when we had the time. It's just
Wherever your skills could be useful.
Yeah, exactly. It's like another full-time job.
Yeah.
That you do for free.
Yeah, I feel like this is at the time. And we only do this once a month, so.
Okay, so the whole time that you were fostering cats and doing all that, you were also working a full-time job, right?
I was.
In addition. And so, but you've recently had a transition, haven't
Yeah, I worked from home, so that's how I was able to do so much, especially with the younger kittens, all the neonatals. Depending on how young they are, you have to, like, feed them so often. So because I worked from home, I was able to do that. But then I decided that that's what I wanted to do full time. I wanted to do animal rescue full time. My sights were always on wildlife. If you're gonna do anything in this type of world full time, you have to find what's sustainable for you. And I love cats and dogs. You know, I love our all animals, but they are overpopulated, and it's a really strange catch-22 to be like, I'm gonna save those babies, but also, like, you shouldn't be here because your mom should have been spayed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I love them, but if I'm gonna do this forever and you're not gonna ever make a lot of money if you're working with nonprofits and doing any sort of animal care
If you're doing
work.
it right, you won't. Yeah, you're not supposed
Right,
to make a lot
right,
of money.
exactly.
If you're making a lot of money, then something's wrong.
Right. So I've always wanted to do wildlife. You know, I always want to send animals back to where they can be free and happy, and so that I kind of had my sights set on that. I did a little bit of that in New York, and so I decided to leave my job that paid well but was not fulfilling at all. I hit the wall where I was like, the money is awesome, but I don't care. I just don't care, and I kind of just needed to get to that point. I needed to get to a point where I had such a cush job and still didn't want to do it, to be like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to switch to this thing that I know isn't going to pay me a lot of money, but I'll always feel good doing this. And so I set my sights on doing wildlife rescue and rehabilitation.
Can you tell us about the place that you're working at?
I can. I work at the SPCA for Monterey County in Salinas, California. They have a dog and cat shelter, barn, where I used to work. Their barn has horses and sheep, goats, chicken, bunnies, and then higher up on the property, they have a beautiful wildlife center. And I started volunteering at the wildlife center. I kind of just had to set my sights on a place that had even paid positions, because a lot of rescues are all volunteer, which is amazing, but I also have to live in society. So I started volunteering there. I worked in the barn. I started doing emergency. The wildlife center at the SPCA is a 24-hour rescue center, so they have people on call all night. And I started taking one night a week and driving on call for them. And then
What does that mean? Like, what do you do?
So they have trucks. They have the SPCA wildlife trucks. We have on-call phones, and if someone calls with an emergency overnight, we will go out and get that animal.
Can you give us an example?
I mean, it could really be anything. If it's a bird and it's fairly stable, we ask to pick them up in the morning, because birds sleep at night unless it's an owl. But we get called, on deer calls if a deer has been hit by a car. A lot of car hit animals we'll go out and get. People will be partying and they see an injured pigeon, and they can't bring it to you, so you go and pick it up. So many different types of calls. People will say they have a pigeon and it's a hawk, or they say they have a hawk and it's a pigeon.
So you really don't know what you're going to get when you show up.
No.
No matter what they say.
No, and thankfully with technology, we can have them text us a photo if they know how to do that.
Best case scenario.
They don't always know
How does
to do
somebody not know how to text a photo?
that. Sometimes they are of a different generation.
Okay.
One
or
time
inebriated, perhaps, too. Maybe.
Right. One time I asked someone to text me, and she was like, okay, it's going to take a second to get the fax machine working. And
What?
I was like, no, not.
Oh my god, that's so cute. It's like
It
a little
was
bit adorable.
cute, but
Not helpful, but adorable.
not helpful whatsoever. Right. And also she had an opossum, and she did not know what type of animal. It was a crazy alien creature that she had found.
Not of this earth.
Right.
If you saw an opossum, would you know what it was?
A possum?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have seen possums, like little baby ones. When I went to Florida.
Opossums.
Do they have a
Pointy face.
pointy
Yeah,
face?
they have a little,
Okay.
Yeah.
little ratty tail.
We have opossums here.
Okay.
Possums, no O, live in Australia. Brush-tail
Okay.
possums. They're sorry, opossums of America, but the possums in Australia are very cute. Baby Virginia opossums here in America are super, super cute, but
Yeah, the baby I saw in Florida was
they're
cute.
adorable.
So freaking cute.
But the possums in Australia in adulthood, they're also very cute.
Oh.
One day.
Okay, but the adult ones here are not.
Not to most people.
I think they're
feel like.
cute.
I love them.
But everyone's like, it's not a puppy or a kitten. They're like, it's not cute. Whatever. Anyway.
So I started driving on call, and then I was offered the full-time seasonal position. So that's where I am now, with the hopes of getting a permanent full-time position. But this is kind of the path that most of the employees take. They either volunteer and then get a part-time position, or they volunteer, or they're an intern, and then it evolves. So I just set my sights on one center and just kind of focused, and I've gone to wildlife conferences, involved myself in as many, like the Oiled Wildlife Care Network here does classes, and just tried to take as many classes as I can. And then I enrolled in vet tech school online so I can get my vet tech license.
Oh, cool.
And that will allow me to help animals more by knowing more. You know, if you end up working at a wildlife center that has a vet and vet techs, you will get paid a little bit more money.
I was like, job security doesn't hurt too.
Yeah.
You know.
And that, you know, that allows me to hopefully one day make a little bit more money without being a manager and having to sit behind a desk. Because the hands-on work is what I love.
Right.
So that's kind of the sustainable job for me is getting to do the hands-on work and then releasing the animals back to the wild instead of having to trust some person to take care of this animal you just, you know, rehabbed from the brink of death like you would with cats or dogs, and then they find out later that animal got hit by a car. So yeah, it's a lot more fulfilling to release an animal and watch it fly away or run away. And
Sounds like a good plan.
yeah, yeah. But it took a lot of volunteering for me to learn, like, where in this world do I fit, and will I be able to do this for a long
survive?
time? Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, anybody that's considering a career change or is interested should volunteer. That's was huge in my decision making and huge in deciding, because there's a lot of like veterinary stuff that I do. There's a lot of anatomy. There's a lot of like interest in medicine, and some people think I want to be a vet tech, and they don't realize you're not cuddling animals all day. You know, you're kind of there. They don't like you that much because you have to restrain them and you have to give them, you know, their vaccines or pull blood.
Yeah, and you're doing like fecal tests.
Exactly, which
They're like,
I love.
They don't want you sticking your stuff up their ass and taking their poop.
I
to
love
test it.
doing fecal tests.
They don't love it.
They don't love it.
So they're not going to be your friend, you know? So, yeah, you don't think about that.
I like the sciencey part of it, and it's a mix of all of those things. So I think that anybody that's interested in doing animal rescue should definitely volunteer. Definitely. You'll find out, you know, no, I'd rather do big picture activism and focus on legislative
or people
activism.
to people, maybe not animal on person.
Right,
Or maybe that's
exactly.
where you're
Or maybe
strong.
you're a good fundraiser.
You're a communicator or something. Yeah.
Exactly. So
I'd rather not deal with people.
yeah, which is why I
So
would
I'm
rather
not
work
good with
animals.
confrontation. So if somebody was like, "Boo," I'd be like, "Ah." Yeah. Anyway.
Do you have to be a certain age to volunteer?
You have to be 16
Okay, that's not bad.
at this particular center.
That's yeah. Depending on where you're volunteering, it does differ. But yeah, usually it's like 16.
With the smaller rescues, we had a lot of volunteers that fostered with their moms, and they were really young, but amazing, and they learned so much. We have this one, when I worked with the cat rescue, we had this one foster kid named Elise, and she's amazing, and she would make hand sew costumes for all of the holidays for all of the kittens.
Oh my goodness. That's very cute.
Which is probably mildly torturous for the cats, but
They're like, "Thank you so much."
So big out, had hats, Halloween costumes.
Oh no, that's the Instagram is how you get donations though.
Exactly.
That girl was on to something.
She was great. So it just depends on where you're volunteering, but for the wildlife center, you have to be 16.
Okay. Aw. I don't like my job.
I know. I'm like spreadsheet.
It was a huge decision, and I've really had to focus and sacrifice a lot. My days are crazy. I work 7 days a week, but it's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best job. Yeah, I mean, the ultimate goal is for me is to eventually go to Africa and work with the animals there.
Oh my gosh.
Would love to do rescue in Africa and Australia, but right now it's just like learn. I want to learn as much as I can, and you know, hopefully have enough experience to take to other rescues around the country and get to work with different species and maybe some apex predators, hopefully some marine mammals. There isn't like a single species I want to work with. I want to learn all and help all.
Oh my gosh. How long do you think it'll take you to get to the point where you're ready to move? Like where you know it all?
You'll never know it all.
Yeah, you'll
Really?
never know it all.
The amazing thing about
That's life. You never know it all.
yeah, but
I
in
know
wildlife
everything.
rescue, people are constantly
Besides you.
changing their protocols and learning more about how to be successful. There are some conferences every year where at my job, they send their full-time employees out for CE, for continuing their education, to a lot of these conferences, and oftentimes every year the protocols change. They'll come back and say, we need to do this differently with our songbirds, or we should start doing this with our, baby raccoons. We always learn something new. So I have a lot to learn. I've learned so much. I mean, I'll talk to some of my friends, and they'll be like, you're a vet now. And I'm like, oh, I've barely scratched the surface. Never a dull moment. Every day after work, sometimes I have to kind of like jostle myself and step out on my bubble and be like, oh my God, I got to like wrangle these red-tailed hawks today, and then I got to go on this rescue and get the Coast Guard involved to get a cormorant out of fishing line, and I got to bottle feed all of these baby raccoons today. Like there's...
Aww. That's really cute. I want to bottle feed a baby raccoon.
Yeah, public service announcement: do not touch raccoons.
Yeah, you think that would be common sense, but
No,
I guess it has to be
it's
said.
not. They vast majority have roundworm that can infect your brain.
Oh.
Yes.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah. So we deworm all of our raccoons. We wear gloves. We always wear gloves. We feed our animals very species-specific diets. We'll have people that come and say, oh, I fed this animal cow's milk for the past 3 days. And we're like, well, that animal might not make it because you did that. So always call a wildlife.
But I drink cow's milk.
Yeah, it's probably not working well for you either.
Let me tell you about that, too, while you're here.
Yeah.
Let's sit you down next to your little animal you brought in that you poisoned.
Yeah. So the public is great because we're a full nonprofit, and we have an amazing facility because of that. But also, if you don't know, please call your local rescue. They'll probably just tell you to bring the animal in and not try to raise it yourself.
Good advice.
Yeah.
But then you don't get to be the hero. I could see where people are coming from.
You're a
Them and
hero
their
if
cow's
you
milk.
volunteer. Come volunteer, and then you can
And you
help.
can visit with your animal.
So our last segment in the Dolls and Donuts podcast is called Wag or Whimper. It is where we talk about something new that we tried this month, and we tell our listeners if it made us wag or whimper. All right.
This is a rarity here. You're witnessing a miracle.
Okay.
They actually have some good things to say.
We do.
Or Robin does. I usually have good things to say.
But
But we'll start out with the...
Ashley's like, I'm always positive, but
I'm really
the
not.
negative Nancy over here.
But I just have very low expectations, so I'm like, it's good enough. It's good enough. So, when it comes to food, I'm like, anything pleases me. But really, so...
Okay, so I was at Grocery Outlet and I saw a new kind of ice cream. It was actually sorbet, I thought, because it was called Sorbabes,
Fake ice cream.
which normally I would say gross. I only eat ice cream because fruit ice cream is not real ice cream. But it had a unicorn on it, and its horn was an ice cream cone.
That's where they got you.
And I was like, oh, I love this product already. So I got it. I got the pistachio and caramel flavor. It was delicious.
It was vegan?
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, obviously.
It was really, really
I know people
good.
still ask me that. I'm like,
I know.
yeah.
It was creamy. It was delicious. I think it was a coconut milk base. So good. So the next time I went to Grocery Outlet, they had a flavor called, the Sorbabes pistachio and caramel. Made me wag. And then the next time I went, I got the banana and peanut butter. Not so much.
Damn it, that's the one I would have preferred.
I
If
know.
It was good.
I was thinking of you when I got it.
Yeah.
I'll let you taste it if you want, but it had a strange thing going on.
Was it like the fake banana flavor? Because I encountered that recently in an ice cream, and I was
Was it
very
Halo
unhappy.
Top? Yeah, that one is terrible. We
Disgusting.
whimper.
Yeah.
It's been whimpered.
that was a
on this
whimper for me,
podcast.
a strong one. All their other ones are pretty decent if you're going that route, if you want to go that route with ice cream, but that one was vile.
Oh, awful.
It was bad.
Just chunks of banana.
I'm gonna take a gamble and say, was it Halo Top? I would say it had to be.
Yeah, it was awful.
Okay, well, we can compare it to the Sorbabes banana and peanut butter one, which made me whimper. However, I got the Oatly chocolate milk, which wasn't in stores, and I was never able to find it because I thought that Oatly only sold to coffee shops. And so finally I saw it at Rainbow, and of course I had to get it because it was also chocolate. Delicious. Remember how good we felt when we tasted Ripple chocolate milk for the first time? It was like, it made me that happy.
brought Ripple right back to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it was great. So the Oatly chocolate melt make me wag. And I tried another new thing, which is the Amy's Margherita swirls, which are
I've seen these.
pizza swirls.
And I'm yeah.
I think you
I'm
should
into
do
it. I'm into the picture on the box.
Do
Put
it.
that way.
They don't necessarily look like that picture.
Well, they never do, but
Just to warn you.
They never.
I was
nothing
expecting
ever
them
looks
to
like
be
the picture.
circles
Nothing
because
ever looks like
I
the
make
picture.
pizza rolls.
Oh, they weren't?
No, they
They
were
were
not circles. They were like
blobs.
ovals.
Oh,
And
it's
Okay.
picky.
not a fan of the ovals. However, they tasted delicious. The one thing I will say is that I think that they should include a side of sauce in them.
Oh yeah, I like a lot of sauce.
I was going to say it wasn't too much bread. I feel like those types of things are always so much more bread, and I want like more cheese. And
Yeah, yeah. I think they could have done with a little bit of dipping sauce. Because when I make my pizza rolls, I serve
And the
them with
ovals are a
dipping
better
sauce.
shape for dipping than circles.
It's almost like it should have come
Yeah,
with
like
dipping
it
sauce.
was-
Like it was meant to be. I
Missed
know.
opportunity.
I know. So the Amy's Margherita swirls made me wag.
So it's just me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so last time we talked about, what did you talk about? The yogurts last time you didn't like. One of them was lemon.
Oh,
And I
the
said
forager
how,
one.
yeah, and I said I don't think I like yogurt and I love citrus, lemon, limes, all that stuff, like anything like that. But I'd never tried like a citrus yogurt. And you had the So Delicious key lime pie yogurt, and I've seen it, but I'm just kind of like, oh, that's too wild and crazy for me. You know what I mean? Like that's too. I gotta get the plain, or whatever. So I tried it and I really liked it.
Yay!
And I've never even actually had key lime pie.
Oh.
I think it's just lime,
Yeah.
but no one understands lime.
Yeah.
But if you say it's key lime pie,
Yeah,
Some people
then
like
it's
that.
more delicious.
But I've never had the real dessert. I've never
Yeah.
had the key lime pie dessert. So, but yeah, I liked it a lot.
Maybe I should make you a key lime pie for your birthday.
No.
just
Like,
make it.
no, you already said what you're
Just make
making.
it anyway. I'll come
Yeah, okay.
You may too. If you need to. If you feel like you need to.
Zen tried to switch from banana split cake, or from, the cake that he specifically asked for. Like 4 days later, he tried to switch to banana pie. And I was like, no, I already made the recipe. Like it took me hours to make this
You
recipe.
had your chance, buddy.
And he was like, wow, I didn't think you'd do it that well. Whatever.
We'll shelve that one. We'll shelve the whatever you just said.
Okay, the key lime pie.
Key lime pie.
Okay. So the
Cake
yogurt.
or
So the
whatever.
yogurt was a success.
Yeah. So the So Delicious key lime pie yogurt made me wag.
Have you tried anything new this month?
I was just trying to think about that. So Halo Top is a recent, I resisted it for a long time, and then I was like, you know what, I just want to eat a whole pint of ice cream.
I know.
and
Sometimes
not
you just want to do it
care.
and not be like, oh shit, what have I done?
So the flavors that I've had are the oatmeal cookie, the chocolate peanut butter swirl, the chocolate, and the chocolate covered banana, which is disgusting.
Yeah, that
last one's
not
awful.
recommended.
The other ones are,
The macchiato one's good.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I was
That's my
afraid to
favorite
try
one so
that.
far. I haven't tried the regular chocolate and I haven't tried the oatmeal one.
The oatmeal is fine.
The
Those,
peanut butter one's okay. It's fine.
yeah, because the swirl is good, and you just go for the swirl. And
Yeah, you just
pick
sort
the
of
swirl
follow
out.
it down, and then okay, now I get the rest of it.
For
I'm
what
gonna
it
have
is good enough.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't think
is.
it's a wag or whimper. I think it's just like a sleepy
Whatever.
puppy.
Ooh.
It's like just a twitchy
I think
paw.
we have a new
Right.
a new
because
rating.
for
It's a macchiato snore.
Oh.
there you go.
Another one.
Oh my gosh.
Is that good?
It's like you have been sleeping in my room for the past weeks.
How do you know she hasn't been? You've been.
So good enough for what it is. If I want to eat a whole entire pint of ice cream, it tastes fine.
It's a good option for those days.
It is. There is a Whole Foods up here is now carrying. Oh crap! I forget what they're called. They're the Mostess cupcakes. They're vegan and gluten free, and they look like Hostess cupcakes.
Yes.
Ooh.
Lizzie
They-
brought Matt one for his birthday, and I
They're-
ate half of it.
It's called like Better Bites or something like that.
I
don't
can't remember the brand, but yeah, they're like individual.
Yeah, there's
ones.
an individual cupcake, or you can buy the 10-pack of minis, which my coworkers are big
Okay,
fans
we had
of.
the
Yeah, I
like
like
the
minis.
regular.
They're vegan, gluten free. Holy hell! Wag my freaking tail off. So good. They have
Yeah.
It's not like those ones you get that have the crappiest amount of filling, and it's just dry cake. They're vegan. They're gluten free. They Oh, they're so
Yeah,
good.
I tried
Ooh,
that.
okay.
That's something I forgot that I tried.
Their cake bites are okay because they try to do the white cake and the like
Oh.
cake balls. So it's fine. They do come little individually wrapped in little clear boxes,
Oh, that's
It's
cute.
which
cute,
is really
though.
cute. So then I was able to take my individual cupcake that was left over and put it in my cake ball container and transport it without crushing it.
They thought of everything.
Yeah, those were good enough, but their Mostess cupcakes are
It was good.
very good. That is such a good baked good to bring to your friends. We're like, how do you make baked goods vegan? And then you bring that to them. and they're like,
Bam!
whatever. This is
Bam!
great.
You just go like
Yeah.
And
that
it's
in
at
their
Whole
face.
Foods?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Lizzie got hers at I think the Cupertino one for Matt. She brought it to his birthday dinner.
Cool.
Yeah. And I
All
was
right,
like, he's
I'll
like,
check
I'm
it
like,
out.
oh, do you want your cupcake? I'm like, yeah, okay. And then we were sitting there, and I was just like, I just want a bite. I just want to taste. I want
no.
to try it. And then I got to half, and I was like, eat it quickly,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna eat your whole cake, your whole cupcake.
Your
I mean,
birthday
your birthday
cupcake.
cupcake.
They're refrigerated
It's
though,
not
so you
good.
have to let them sit because the icing on
Oh,
top
yeah.
will get too firm.
And
so,
the filling icing
yeah.
probably too. Huh?
So leave it out. Unless you're going to eat the mini cupcakes in one bite, then you're golden.
I mean, that's
I can
what
almost
mini
eat
cupcakes are
the
for.
bigger one in one bite, so there's no problem.
Right. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that way, then you're fine.
We have
But
skills.
otherwise,
Okay, good.
leave it out.
All right.
Let's wrap this puppy up.
Okay.
It's so dark in here right now.
I know. Sorry, it is really dark.
Do you have like electricity?
I don't believe in it.
Okay, Amish Robin.
Okay, so that was episode 33. Thanks for joining us on our journey. We're on Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, Breaker. Rate us 5 stars only,
Tell us
or
how
don't
much
rate
you
us at
love
all.
us. Yeah.
Tell a friend and
Tell your grandma. We talked about this before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Volunteer.
And volunteer.
Listen to us in your headphones while you're
yeah.
doing some fecal
Do you
tests
have
on some
any
animals.
websites or Instagram accounts you want to?
Plug?
Animal Shelter Relief Rescue Instagram. They are in Santa Cruz. I love them. I used to volunteer with Empty Cages Collective in New York. They're also a small rescue that could definitely use people's.
It's a great name.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love a good name.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they when I started working for them, they were vegan run. So
cool.
there's new people, but they're doing great work. I don't know them personally, but they could always use support. And then the SPCA for Monterey County can always use help. And I mean, every animal rescue can always use help in any way, and you can help. It seems intimidating at first because you're not going to know anybody, but just do it. Suck it up. Learn something.
That's
It'll help.
probably a good way to meet new people too.
It is. It's a great way to meet new
And we'll
people.
include all the links to everything that you mentioned in the show notes, so they're all there.
Okay, and where can we find you, Ashley?
You can find me at theveganadventure.com, and the Cleveland and Las Vegas posts are updated, and there's much more to come. I still haven't done Austin, that's what I'm trying to say. I still haven't done Austin and a couple other places that are up there but need to be updated, and London will be updated this year, Paris will be created, and Belfast will probably be updated too, because I'm heading all there late this year, so that's all to come. What about you, Robin?
I'm vegandollhouse.com and Vegan Dollhouse everywhere else. And every recipe I talked about on here is on my blog. And if you want to follow Dolls and Donuts, we are on Instagram at Dolls and Donuts.
Okay.
Spelled the proper way.
With a G. Pinky out with a G. So thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Dolls and Donuts, Dolls and Donuts. We are 2 dolls, we like animals. As a bonus, we eat donuts.